Talk about the mentality on the last drive defensively. I mean, you guys obviously had them on the ropes time against them. What was the objective? Trying to make them uncomfortable?
One more time, I didn't.
With that last defensive drive, I mean, you know, they've got the new quarterback, young guy in there.
I mean, well, we almost intercept the ball on first down, and then we get it to 4th and 6, you know, and you get a little heat on him, and he hits that ball in the middle for the first down. You know, now it's a minute to go in the game, and you're in that gray area, you know, the gray area here where, you know, there's still a slight wind that they're kicking against, and, you know, right now you're really thinking about what's the worst thing that can happen is to get down in the field goal range, you know, and have a shot at kicking a field goal. And I think we're pretty much trying to keep everything in front of us right there, and they took that wheel route, you know, and went up the sideline and got behind us, and next thing you know, we're on the 3 or 4 yard line. You know, I really felt that our best chance at that point of winning the game was our defense to stop them. So rather than me just call timeouts arbitrarily, we called one right off the bat, and I told Dave to use them as needed. You know, because the most important thing to me right there was to give our defense the best chance in the flow of the game to have a chance of stopping them. And, you know, stopped them there early, but they went with the play action pass and, you know, had a touchdown 12 seconds ago.
The Texas defense threw a lot at your own quarterback, making it pretty tough on him. Was there any thought of maybe trying to get Dame back in there to like?
No, what I did is I went away from throwing the ball and went into, you know, I had enough packages, you know, designed for the game. You know, I'm not a dummy now, Josh, and I kind of figured that they would try to do different things going into the game to try to rattle Michael, especially when they knew Michael was starting. So we had enough things in the run game to try to take the pressure off them if they did that. And in the beginning, they're walking everyone around and bringing every exotic blitz known to mankind. And when you know, we have some passes called early that, you know, they got to us in. So I just shut it down and said, okay, we're gonna just grind it out and grind it out and grind it out, and we're gonna do more of the same in the second half. And once again, that leads to low-scoring games, you know. But at the end of the day, at least put us in a position to win the game.
The Christian Matthews touchdown run, is that a play you've used in your life, or is it something you just drew up this week?
I've used it with Richie Anderson with the Jets. Okay. You know, handing it off to him and letting him be the option guy. You know, so yes, I've used it. Yes, I've used it before.
Did it just pop back into your head this week?
No, so we get in there and our coaching staff, you know, we try to come up with some wrinkles, and somebody brought up, you know, that we always could do this, and I said, yeah, well, I did something similar to that with this, and next thing you know, you got to play. You know, we got a couple plays out of it.
You look down the stat sheet, especially when you get to time of possession and how successful you were against the run and defensively. I mean, it looks like the plan worked for the most part, just didn't get the end result. How frustrating is that for you as a coach and a coaching staff?
Well, you know, our margin of error, the way we're playing football right now, we don't have a big margin of error. You know, obviously the key time of the game to keep the game a game was the goal line stand, you know, where, you know, we stopped them at the 1 yard line. Now, of course, we didn't change field position at that time either, so the defense was playing on a short field, and the offense a lot of the day was playing on a long field. But you know, when you play like this, you put your team in the best position to win, but it's 21-17 bad guys. So, I mean, you know, it still doesn't make you feel any better. As a coach, you do feel, hey, you know, we schemed up a pretty good chance for us to win, but as a coach, still, you say we didn't do enough to win. And I'm never happy, you know, with an outcome like that one. Never.
Was it a no-brainer to send Prolago out there for that field goal?
Yeah, we were ready to go with Prolago. We were doing that. If that was incomplete, if that was an incomplete pass, we were going for it. So I mean, it's 3rd and 7. If I run the ball in game 5, I'm still putting Prolago out there. So I figured I'd go ahead and Don't let Mike roll out of the pocket, give him the best chance. If they bring a bunch of heat up the middle, we'll be away from it. He threw the ball away, which is a good decision by him. And the kid this week in practice, we didn't try any long ones in practice, but the kid was really good in practice this week. So I felt pretty confident that he would make the field goal.
I think it was Heaney who had the first hit on the 4th and 1 at the goal line. He emerged as kind of a leader of that defense.
Well, I mean, he's been that way. He's been a wild bullets type of guy. But what I'm saying, the guy, he's firing his bullets all the time now. He only knows one speed, and it's full speed. He's one of the guys in a situation like that's capable of stopping somebody, because he's not waiting to wrap you up. He's waiting to deliver a blow on you.
What did you learn about James Sims today?
I've known it for quite some time. I didn't learn anything that I didn't already know that we already haven't already said. Let's go back, and not to be sarcastic, but coming out of the spring, I said the same thing about Sims that I'm saying now, and I'll say it again. I don't know if there's a better back. There's a better back in this league. I haven't seen them. If they exist, I have not seen them yet.
What were your thoughts on the special teams minus the kicking game with the kickoff and the coverage team?
Well, we felt if there was wind today, we'd go ahead and kick it deep, but if not, we weren't kicking it to 84. That same guy ran that reverse for the touchdown, we weren't kicking it to him. But I said, no matter what happens, do not kick it to 84. So we didn't kick it to 84. That's a pretty good strategy, I think. We didn't punt the ball great, but I thought kickoff, I thought that was a definite plus, advantage good guys. Not good enough, but it was advantage good guys.
What changed there's the one play on that last drive when Tobin and Jake both got hurt, had to come off. How difficult is that to see your defense out there with the game on the line with those two on the side?
But what I don't want to do, Matt, is ever make excuses for a loss.
Sure.
You come up here, and I could be, sit there and be in a bad mood and treat you guys, disrespectfully and say, hey, I'm not talking today, and leave. What good does that do you? Just like that, the two guys get hurt, then you got to put two new guys in. It's just you can't go woes me. You just go put them in there and let's go.
Do you know anything about where there's?
Well, Tobin was back in there because he was politicking me, and I said, we'll use you on 3rd and long, but other than that, I wasn't going to let him go because he was working Buddy really hard, and then he looked at me. I said 3rd and long, so he still was not, he was moving around okay. We'll just have to wait and see.
Sure.
Bumps and bruises right now, usually by tomorrow, are either way better or way worse. So they're usually not whatever they are right now. They don't stay the same.
Charlie, they changed quarterbacks during the 4th quarter. Did McCoy give you any kind of a different look or anything?
No, they just.
Than what Ash had been doing?
No, they put McCoy in because Ash had just thrown another interception, and they knew that they were gonna have to throw the ball to win. And that's what they put him in there for. They put McCoy in there, figuring that maybe he'd give him a spark. And just as big a pass as the wheel route was that pass on 4th down in the middle for the 1st down. Because he doesn't make that, the game's over. We're kneeling on it and we're celebrating and having a high time on the town tonight. But that pass was just as important to him, because without that pass, that wheel route wouldn't even existed. But I don't have stats with me, but I'm guessing. What was he? Let me get 5 out of 7. What was he?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, that's what I would have guessed. I would have guessed that's about what he was in the short time he was in there. But they were bringing him in there because Ash had been relatively ineffective in the pass game.
Did your D-back on the wheel route play get faked out or outrun or a little of both?
I can't tell you. I'd be guessing. And if I knew, I would tell you. But I don't know, so I won't tell you. I'd really be guessing. All I know is when I saw their guy behind our guy, it wasn't a good feeling from my view, because I'm standing right on the side and I'm watching it down right there. It's a very empty feeling.
Saving those 2 timeouts at the end, the negative is that you take your
No,
defense out of rhythm. Is that what
you really don't want to save the timeout, but I felt that the defense, I had to let the defense play the game. Like if they thought that they could stop, like they had momentum going, what timeouts do is they stop momentum. So in the goal line defense, which had been stout, really pretty much the whole day had been stout. It had been a really strength of ours right there. You call timeouts to stop the clock. Okay, could you get the ball back with another 25 seconds? Maybe, but how much were we going to throw the ball, Rustin? We weren't really throwing it a whole bunch in the game right there. So our best chance right there was to make a goal line stand and either see if they went for a touchdown. I was personally hoping they were going to go for 6. I was personally hoping they got down to the 6-inch line. Okay, and it was 4th down. Instead of kicking a field goal, they go for it right there, and we make a stand, and we're all partying right now. Just didn't work out the way I planned it.
How about the drive that led to the field goal? You didn't pass much, but then Michael made the big completion to Mundine.
And we drew that one up at halftime too. That was not a play that was in the game plan. That was a play based off of that same formation. We had run a couple plays in the first half. They were overloading that formation the other way, and we felt that we might get the tight end free, and he got open in a window for a big first down there. That was big.
What'd that tell you? I mean, you've learned a lot about this team, but they tie it up. I mean, a lot of time left, and then you march, and I don't remember what it was, 14, 16 plays. I mean, the long drive.
Yeah, it was 14, I think.
Yeah. What do you learn about your team with something like that?
I thought that they showed, some mental toughness, not physical toughness. I thought they showed some mental toughness there, because we've talked about it. Most of you guys have been around a lot with me. How many times have we talked about it? Here we go again. And that's not how they acted. It wasn't here as we go again. It was, they made a couple plays in the last drive, and they made plays and beats.
Speaking to that point, you had some early adversity again with bad snap. Last week against Oklahoma, a bad play early kind of snowballed on you. What do you attribute that improvement to this week?
That wasn't a bad snap. That was a snap when he shouldn't have been snapping it yet. So it wasn't, like the quarterback hadn't said the snap count. So that was, it's not really a bad snap. It's just like, what are you doing? And so what are you doing, snap? So I can't really give a parallel there, because the quarterback's walking up here to redirect the play, and we snapped the ball on the play. So it wasn't exactly the way I designed it. It wasn't, and then we lost yardage there, and now, probably, I don't remember exactly, but that's the one where we ended up moving backwards. It cost us points.
You talked about the next step to get over that hump, getting the win. Are you still at the point where you can take some good things out of this, or do you just look at it?
Personally,
yeah.
Personally, I'm miserable. Okay, but for our team, there's definitely things to grow from. Okay, that doesn't make me feel any better, in case you're wondering. Okay, but I think that the team knows that we can hang with the big boys. We can beat the big boys. They made. Normally you say, well, we didn't close the game. Well, I think that they made a couple of plays. They made a couple of plays, and that's why they won. They made a couple of key plays late in the game to win it.
And Coach, I know you didn't ask much before lunch today, but how do you think he handled things going the distance for the first time?
Well, he was never really flustered, and I felt the same thing last week against Oklahoma. Things didn't go so well last week, but he was never really flustered. I'm sure there's going to be things on the tape that we say, well, why did you do this, or why did you do that? And I know there was one play we called the formation one way and the play the other way. That it really wasn't a big difference in the play, but still wasn't exactly the way we called it. But at the end of the day, I think that the kid wasn't flustered, and You know, that's, at this point right now, in the growing process, you know, composure is a very, very key ingredient.